Sean Sewell with the Engearment.com podcast. Really excited to have on my friend and mentor for the third time, Doc Hartle. Is it Dr. Hartle now?
Well, it's Dr. Michael Hartle, my official name, but a lot of people call me Doc. People call me Doctor, some people, whatever. So Michael's fine too.
Well, you're a double doctor now since the last time we talked.
Not quite yet. I'm about a year and a half away from getting my PhD. So then I'll be Doctor, or Doctor squared mathematically.
That's what I was trying to figure out. Is it Doctor, or double doctor, or what's the best way to approach this?
That's right.
Well, it's an honor to have you back on, Doc. And for a little background for people, Doc's been on now 3 times. We cover a lot of fun conversations. He is he created the curriculum with Pavel for the StrongFirst barbell certification, which is an amazing certification. We had it here in our gym in Denver at Existence Athletics about a month ago. Mm-hmm. And I took it with Doc. There's my sticker right there, Team Hartle. Back in 2019, and he also was my lead instructor for my SFG for the third time around in 2018. Fantastic instructor, great person, wealth of knowledge, and he actually has a new book that just came out on Amazon and other places, and we'll be talking about that. So, Doc, there it is, Kettlebell Strength Training Anatomy. Oh, I'm so excited to get my copy.
A little shameless plug there.
Yes, worth it. Well, Doc, welcome back for the third time. Fill us in on you. I understand right now you're down in Florida preparing for a certification. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, tomorrow we're putting on the StrongFirst SFG Level 1 Kettlebell certification at the gym called Sweat St. Pete. Our third year in a row down there. We've had great success, great students, great team leaders, everyone. So we're down here again, of course, in very warm, muggy Florida, but it's a good time. There's no hurricanes this coming weekend. Last year we left on Sunday, flew home Sunday, and I think Hurricane Ian came and hit this area, primarily Fort Myers versus Tampa, but hit the area here, I think by Wednesday of that week. So we dodged a bullet with get out of here quick at a time. Of course, we hope and pray that everyone was able to be doing well during that hurricane. So
yeah, Florida, my goodness, it's always hot and muggy in Florida. I think last time I was down there was for the StrongFirst team leaders meeting, Teachers of Strength. No, it was Program Improv. That's what it was. Fun place. Driving to Florida from Denver is a 3-day event. And when Pavel found out that I drove, he's like, "You are a barbarian." And
yes,
I would agree.
Yes.
A lot of travel. Goodness gracious. Well, your last certification here in Denver, you had some kind of similar travel situations where the weather was crazy, and my goodness, is it just the way you travel?
Yeah. Well, that was about 6 weeks. No, that was actually about 4 weeks ago. So that was definitely an interesting situation there. So it was just, we had the delays, and then, so going there and coming back was not good, but being there was awesome, being in Denver there. Unfortunately, we missed each other because you were out of town at that point, but I got to go there with Miss Ryan, but it was good seeing everyone there at the Existence Athletics. Great gym, great energy there.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate you saying that. We love our community and we love our gym. And I don't know how in the world both Ryan Humphreys and I missed being there. I was covering an outdoor expo event, and he was out of town, I think, visiting his family, but the paths will cross again soon.
Well, the scuttlebutt is that he was out of town with his girlfriend.
Oh, is that
that's what he told me. So I don't know. You may have to confirm that with him. He may, maybe confirm or, deny the allegation. Who knows what? So
you get the inside scoop. I'll have to bust his chops today.
So,
but
I'm down the priority list as far as, Jim, girlfriend, Doc Hartle's like down below here. So I didn't feel too warm inside from Ryan because of that. So
that's fair enough. His girlfriend is very sweet. Her name is Sunleaf, as a real name. Her sister named her. Her parents allowed her sister to name the upcoming daughter, and she chose Sunleaf, and they stuck with it. And she's a sports psychologist. She's fantastic.
Awesome.
Yeah, she's a lot of fun to hang out with. But I will be seeing you, I believe, in 3 weeks down in Phoenix.
Yep.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that.
Actually, 2 weeks.
Is it 2 weeks? Oh my!
Yeah, it's October. Yeah. 2 weeks from this weekend.
I need to make reservations for a place to stay. Oh, goodness. Thanks for reminding me.
You're welcome.
It flies by. We just had a course at our gym with our colleague and mentor as well, Derek Toshner and Kenneth Willand, two fantastic instructors. So fun. We did the all terrain conditioning, which I've been wanting to take for 4 or 5 years, back when Craig Marker was
Yep,
teaching.
yep,
Did
yep.
a fantastic curriculum. Just love the Strong First culture and the Strong First way of teaching. Well, speaking of, I've gotten the chance to learn from you now at least two times for the
Hmm.
SFG one and for the barbell, and I learned so much from you. I all my water bottles proudly have the Team Hartle, stickers on them. So I'm always proud to share what you've taught me, and it was really fun to hear from our coaches at Existence Athletics who took the Strong First Lifter certification with you.
Mm,
And they're very accomplished coaches already, but the wisdom and the minutia of the movements you taught them directly impacted the way they coach, and the students
mm.
in our gym appreciate it too. Like just the little things, the Hartle plank, the wedge, all these little things make life stronger.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so it's greatly appreciated.
Well, good. I'm glad they enjoyed it. They're good students too. So,
Well, thanks. Dad, we got some good people in there on our team. Well,
mhm.
let's talk a little bit about your upcoming book. The last time on the podcast, I think you just mentioned you're going to start developing this book. This is a major publisher too. This is, if I'm not mistaken, the same one that Gray Cook is works with and others.
Yeah, Human Kinetics. They do a lot of strength and conditioning books, and so they contacted me. So originally, there's a Dr. Craig Levinson, a doctor of chiropractic, lives in LA. He's huge into rehab, and he had actually asked me to write a chapter for his third edition of his Rehabilitation of the Spine book.
Mhm.
So chapter 26, I wrote about barbell training, how you can use it to spare your spine and make your spine healthier and stronger. So I wrote a chapter. Michelle Earl, who's a acquisitions manager, editor, sorry, at Human Kinetics, read it or looked at it or whatever, and she contacted me because they have this strength training anatomy series where they do like yoga anatomy, they do dancing anatomy, they do body weight. Brett Contreras wrote one about body weight strength training anatomy.
That's
So
cool.
they have a series of books that do that, and they want to do it about kettlebells. And so she saw my name, knew I was involved with the kettlebell organization, StrongFirst, and so talked to me about it. So we put together a contract and wrote it all out. And then sometime in 2020, I don't remember the exact dates, I started doing the initial writing. So kind of like during the pandemic aspect. In May of 2021, I got this harebrained idea to go back to school and get a PhD. So I did that. So that kind of delayed the writing a little bit, and she was very kind and patient while I was doing all that stuff. And so we got it wrapped up January this year, or maybe December, somewhere around that time. We kind of put all the final edits and everything. So it just kind of went through its processes, and then they got to the printing presses. And now it's available on Amazon and Barnes and Noble.
Oh, it's so cool. It's so cool seeing your book, and there's a Ford from Pavel, right? Like,
Yeah, so to be honest with you, I was kind of nervous, and Pablo doesn't know this, but when I called him, because here's the guy who is pretty much credited with bringing kettlebells to the United States. I mean, obviously, he's been around for several hundreds of years, new technique around for hundreds of years. And so I was kind of nervous about asking him, but he said, yes, Doc, I will write a forward for you. Almost just like that, almost in the
yeah,
same accent and everything with that.
I could hear that.
So he was kind enough to write a very nice forward with it. So I appreciated that. But yeah, it's turned out really well. The interesting thing, if can I use the book as an example here?
Of course, please.
So for example, we have showing a basketball player, and they even can see the anatomy aspect there.
Wow.
We even have some of the kettlebell stuff. So for example, this is showing a kettlebell deadlift. And so I even listed the primary and the secondary muscles that are generally utilized during the actual lift. And there down below, you see that. So what we did is we went into my gym one day and we spent about 4 hours shooting all these photographs of the models. And then
Yes,
the medical illustrator took those photographs and drew this. And then they labeled all the muscles there.
that's
And,
incredible.
and I think one of the reasons why Michelle wanted me to do it was the fact that not only being a person who knows how to use kettlebells and barbell very strongly, but also someone who has a great anatomical background as far as chiropractic school and just my experience with dealing with a lot of anatomy. So and so I gotta, when I was writing the chapters, each exercise has primary and secondary muscles. So by the end, my Latin became very good because of all the muscles are,
Yeah.
rectus femoris, bicep femoris, all these different things.
Gastrocnemius.
Exactly, exactly. Soleus, or how about this one? Rectus capitis posterior minor and major. That's like right here at the base of the skull. So
Oh, that's over my head, but now I know it.
there you go. So, but yeah, so it's a good book there. The one thing the book doesn't have, which is purposely done, it doesn't have any training ideas. Like, for example, do this 3 times a week and all that kind of stuff. So that's for future editions down the road.
Ooh, I like it. Open to new future editions. I remember when you were asking for models for a book, and it's so cool to see that translate into this. You must
Yes.
and their form, like on Amazon, looking at their form, my goodness, that is a perfect end position for a double kettlebell swing. You must have some really good athletes that showed up for the modeling.
Well, Joshua Poulin, who is right here, he's our model for the front. He works at my office. He's a massage therapist, licensed massage therapist. He also helps in the gym as a rehabilitation assessment. And so he actually is both an SFL and an SFG1.
Oh, nice.
And so he came through my search. He actually came down here to Tampa last year to become SFG1 last year. Katie, who's the female in there, she works at my office. She's not a certified in kettlebells, but we've taught her how to use it even before becoming a model. And then we just tapped into that. And so she did that. The other gentleman is Danny Williams. He's a physical therapist from Indianapolis, which is just about an hour and a half, 2 hours south of me. And so he was I've known him for a while. So I asked him to come up, and so the 3 were the models.
They're fantastic. Yeah, the Cossack squat, as shown in the diagram there, that's spot on.
Well, when Katie saw the book, she goes, "My hair is so detailed. That's just amazing."
It does look nice. It's great. Everything lined out, all the muscles. We can tell the vastus lateralis and the vastus medialis over there with the knee and the rectus femoris. Kettlebell strength training anatomy. It's literally right there.
But the interesting, it's not just an anatomical book. It also teaches you how to do the exercises by what I wrote in each one. So each exercise has execution. It has this range of motion. It has my own thoughts about it. So in the beginning of each chapter, so like there's a deadlift chapter, there's a kettlebell swing chapter, a get up chapter. I have my thoughts in the beginning of it. And my clinic manager, she actually helped me design, as far as the beginning of each chapter, I have some words, just single words, like explosive, strength, basic, all that kind of stuff. So we put that in there, and she's one of the people who I asked every time what she thought of it, because she knows how to do kettlebells as well.
Oh, that's great. So basically, like to be like a coaching cue. Boom.
Yes. Or if you explain to someone, give me some words, give me one word statements of what you think about the kettlebell swing: explosive, fast, that kind of stuff, strength, endurance.
I love it, as opposed to a paragraph like, this is what we're going to do as they're doing it, and just get lost.
Right.
Yeah. Simple and effective cues. Oh, I love it. I can't wait for my copy to show up. It'll become.
What you think about it, but if you don't mind, put a good review on Amazon for me, please.
I'll be happy to. Among other people who have left great reviews, Pavel Macek. Nice. Yeah, you can have a whole list of very accomplished people here for editorial reviews. I'd love to leave a review for you as well. Oh, it's so cool seeing this in fruition and now out in the world. Really cool. Well, speaking of kettlebells and barbells, as you are a master instructor of them, how do you integrate them into your daily life as well as your professional life?
So when I used to compete in powerlifting, which is only a barbell sport, I retired from that in 2005. And then in 2006, I got another harebrained idea to start playing semi-pro football.
So crazy.
But yes, thank you. At the young age of 38. But the idea there is I went from a sport that you literally are lifting for maybe less than 10 seconds on the platform, 1 rep, that's it, maximum weight, to doing a sport where you had to have strength endurance to last for, 2.5, 3.5 hours, especially in Indiana out in the summertime when it'd be 90 degrees heat. If you ever want the fastest weight loss program, put on a pair of shoulder pads and a helmet and play football for 3 hours. I probably literally lost 5 to 7 pounds almost every game, but a lot of it's water weight, obviously. And even that was still infusing my body with tons of water. So when playing that, I had to build up my strength endurance, which, I could hit a guy like a tank from the time the ball was snapped, but I'd last about 3 seconds or 4 seconds, and then I'd be done.
Yeah.
So I had to build up my strength. So that's where I integrated kettlebells into the barbell. So, for example, on squat day, I was working more on my speed squats, aka Louis Simmons style, West Side stuff. But then afterwards, I would do some kettlebell swings, and sometimes I would actually do, squat swings. Bench press. So bench press is huge in my opinion for I'm going to play defensive lineman for football, because obviously as I come off the line, I'm trying to get through the offensive lineman to get to the backfield, or get a running back or something like that. And in doing so, I had to keep my strength up. Well, then I also would do the heavy get-ups after that, because the get-up is one of the greatest exercises in the kettlebell world, because you go from a horizontal to a vertical, back to a horizontal with weight over your head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not as hard as it sounds. It's very easy to learn, especially if I teach people to do it. We don't have a kettlebell. We just do it with your hand.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or shoe in that regard. And that makes it, yeah.
The shoe.
So, but by doing that, it actually helped keep my shoulders nice and strong. It kept my thoracic spine proper. It trained my core very strongly. So it did all these benefits of doing that. So that's how I incorporated kettlebells with barbells, that I would do, say, a barbell bench press, and afterwards do a kettlebell get up, or a barbell squat, and then a kettlebell swing. Or, like, for example, on the heavy deadlift day, I would do heavy deadlifts, like sets of 5, but then I do a set of 10 double kettlebell swings after that.
Nice.
So I do swings and deadlifts, swings and deadlifts, so I would utilize that quite a bit. And then the kettlebell snatch, which I know StrongFirst just released the series with Derek Toshner about that, but the kettlebell snatch is a great exercise, because it takes everything else in the kettlebell world and kind of puts it together for one, like, final exercise. And if you work the explosive aspect of it, it trains your fast twitch fibers, in addition to, in a sense, your intermediate and then even slow twitch fibers for the strength endurance aspect too.
That is, everything you said is super helpful. Any coaches out there listening just got some great programming ideas from you for sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I can attest to the snatches when I was testing the 044 protocol, which became part of the Quick and the Dead in the background there with Pavel. Right. Snatches directly paid over into my activity, which is backcountry snowboarding. You got the split board right there. Yeah, my strength endurance just went off the charts. A very complimentary exercise using the barbell and the kettlebell. That's very intelligent.
Well, and even if you want to throw some bodyweight exercises in there too. I mean, do some pull-ups. Pull-ups are a great exercise.
Yeah.
For example, you can do pistols, one-arm push-ups. Those are, all the great exercises to help as far as develop the whole body.
Absolutely. Oh, I love it. This is that segment right there is going to be very helpful for a lot of coaches out there.
Well, good.
Yeah. What about nutrition? What do you recommend for nutrition for your clients and students?
Well, a lot of people, I'm a big believer that, for example, like drinking cans of pop, eating candy bars, eating Doritos, so all these different things like that are not healthy for you. Now, if you have them, a can of pop once a month, once every couple of weeks is not a big deal. But unfortunately, I think they said the average American drinks around 600 cans of pop a year, which equals to about 1.8 cans a day or something like that. Yeah, exactly. So when you're drinking a can of, and drinking regular pop is one thing, but if you drink even diet, or now I like how Coke has rebranded from Diet Coke to Coke Zero. It's the same.
Sucralose.
It's still, sucralose. It's got aspartame, whatever else in there. Even that stuff's not very healthy for you as well too. So I try to tell people to try to stay away from refined sugar, keep it down to a bare minimum, eat high quality protein. So, for example, let's say you get someone who's lifting weights, you want to maybe have around, my recommendation is maybe around 0.7 to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. Now, that's kind of a lot of protein. So I weigh 260. So it's 260 grams of protein a day. Now, I'm not necessarily a heavy lifter anymore, so I don't need to do that. So maybe I'm around 0.5 grams per pound of body weight. So it's about 130 grams. So around 130, 150 grams of protein a day for me is generally what I'm at right now. Now, if I get into a heavy training cycle, then maybe we'll go back up to the 0.7, 0.8 grams. So some people even do maybe 1 gram per kilogram of body weight. Now, in the United States, a lot of people don't know what kilograms are. That's called a metric system. Okay.
Break it down for them.
That's right. 2.2 times, the pound, or divide it 2.2 times the kilograms tells you what the pounds is. So
Exactly.
again, you can do that as a formula. So those are some good formulas. The carbohydrates that I like to eat are basically like raw vegetables.
Hmm.
I don't eat a lot of fruit. I do have some frozen raspberries with my smoothie. I have that 3 days a week. Matter of fact, Amanda wants me to shoot a video of how I make my smoothie, so I'm going to do that here shortly. But it's getting one of those things where you want to try to stay away from as much sugar. Now, let's say I have another harebrained idea. I want to become a marathon runner. Okay, that's not going to happen. I'm guaranteeing that one. But let's say I want to do it. Now, in those people, you need to increase your carbohydrates
Hmm.
because you're burning through it that much faster running 26.2 miles. Now, I can drive 26.2 miles. I can ride my bike 26.2 miles. I'm not running 26.2 miles. But I give lots of respect for the people who do. But again, you want those carbs not to be, from Snickers bars.
Yeah.
Snickers bar, in my personal opinion, are the best, my favorite candy bar, but I don't eat maybe once a year. But still, you want to have high quality carbohydrates. You want to eat as far as maybe a sweet potato versus a regular potato. You want to maybe I'm sure you deal with some of the stuff in the mountaineering aspect as far as people eating the carbs. They have many more choices nowadays than bringing out a bowl of rice and eating a bowl of rice.
Yeah, it's so cool what's out there from that aspect. That when we're up touring, which is what we call going up the mountain, ascending the mountain,
Right.
you're cranking out 1,000 calories an hour easy.
Yep.
Yeah, and the ride down is kind of fun and flow state and much faster than going up. But yeah, I always recommend people eating. There's a lot of really nice bars out there, and we happen to work with a lot of bar companies that like help them develop some easy to assimilate carbohydrates and some fat and some usually about 10 grams of protein, pretty minimal,
Yeah.
but just something to sustain for an hour or two. And
Right.
we worked with a person who we had on the Born to Run author, and some minimalist footwear people on the podcast a few months ago, and got their opinions on stuff, and none of them were keto. No, they
Yeah.
were carbohydrates.
Yeah. But the thing is when they're using those carbohydrates, they're turning around and burning them right out.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They're not being stored.
No, they were lean. They were machines for sure.
Well, when you look at most of the top notch in your marathon runners, they're very lean people too.
That's true. Yeah, you don't see portly marathon runners.
No, you do not see that. No, you do not see that. You see that in the weightlifting or powerlifting aspect, but not in the endurance aspect. So
Absolutely. Oh, this is very helpful. And you give me good advice too. I think 2 podcasts ago I was sick and like don't eat any sugar. And I don't like sugar in the first place. We don't really have sugar in the house. So that stat you threw at us about 10 minutes ago about the 1.8 cans on average per person in the US blew my mind. As a kid, I grew up in a diabetic household, and we would have just a mountain of pops, diet and regular, and just tons of ice creams and all the things. And so when I was 11, I got paper out and I started buying my own food. I was like, I'm not going to go down this path of sugar. I'm going to learn how to cook a steak, learn how to make rice, and, eat some veggies. Yeah, I made that choice. And it clearly it's nature versus nurture kind of, you can choose your path here.
Well, for example, when I was playing semi-pro football, I went from powerlifting where I ate a lot of protein, a good quantity of fat, and kind of a low carb diet in that respect because I didn't need a lot of glucose in my system for a lot of endurance. I needed more as far as protein and fats. When I started playing football, I found one practice where I literally, you've heard the phrase "hit the wall."
Oh yeah.
Okay, I never had I used to bike race when I was in high school. Never hit the wall in bike race. I just never hit it. But in football, I hit it one day. And I just could not run anymore. I was just dead. And so what I started doing was I started incorporating 2 cups of rice extra a week, just 2 cups. And my football training went off the charts at that point because then I was able to have the carbohydrates to go in. Now, granted, I'm not playing football is not the same thing as climbing Denali like Derek just did. That's a lot of energy. Like you climb the Colorado mountains, that's a lot of energy. So you're consuming more energy with that aspect. But still, I had to actually learn from the hard way that I needed to add carbs to my diet. And I felt like I was almost like doing a disservice to myself, but I still looked great. And I still actually, by the end of the season, had lost weight overall throughout the season, like I did every season. So I was just burning, but I was a better football player because I lasted longer throughout the game, and I didn't feel as dead after the game was over. Matter of fact, I feel like I could still play another game after that game was over.
That's good insight.
Yeah. So.
Well, thank you for sharing the wisdom on that, because everybody has different takes on nutrition and different goals is really what it is. Like, so I appreciate your insight on that.
Not a problem.
As we're coming here towards the end, I'd love to find out more about where you're teaching next. What certs do you have coming up?
I am teaching in San Diego at the end of October, SFL. Then I'm teaching in New York City the second weekend in December at 5 Points Academy. I haven't been there for a few years because of the pandemic, so I'm going back there to see my good friend Steve Mills. Then in January, I'll be in San Diego again at the same facility, and this coming October for the SFG. And that one's actually interesting because we do that one outside.
Oh, how fun!
Yeah, so Alex Verdugo, who owns the gym there, he's got a huge like AstroTurf field behind there where they do lots of running and sprinting. And so what we've done the last 2 years, and we're hopefully do it this year too, is that on one end I'm doing SFG 1, the other end Karen Smith's doing the SFG 2. So that's a shout out to her. So if anyone who's been there for SFG 1, you can come to SFG 2, same facility, and get your training there as well too. Yeah,
that's great. What about 2024? Is there Nashville in the books?
Yeah, so January is in 2024, so that's going to be in San Diego. And then I don't have kind of a dearth of time where I don't have any certs throughout the summer. And then I'm back here in Tampa next September, a year from now. And then San Diego again for SFL. Then I'm doing a new one in Nashville, Tennessee in December, an SFL.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Nashville's a fun town.
I've never been there, so I'm looking forward to going there.
Oh, I went for my first time last summer with my wife and her father. And her father is a contractor, and he actually helped build one of the hotels. So we went to that hotel and checked out the deck and stuff. And it's like Vegas, but a country version of Vegas.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It's pretty wild. Everywhere you go, like a 3-story building will have 3 different stories of 3 different music playing. You'll have rock, you'll have country, you have some like classic rock.
In the same building?
Yeah. It's nuts.
Wow.
Yeah. you can't have a bad time there.
Well, it's only a 6-hour drive from where I live in Fort Wayne, so but I've never been down there, so looking forward to going there.
Yeah, you'll have a good time.
Yeah. Excellent.
Well, Doc, how do people find you? Do you have a newsletter or other social medias we should look into?
Yeah, so we started a newsletter back, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. So every 2 weeks, just release. So you just need to get on the email list with that. I'm actually having a new website built for my company called Advanced Strength and Speed Strategy. So that'll be hopefully coming out here soon. You can sign up and go in there. But in the meantime, you can either send me an email at this address, pwrdoc95@gmail.com. Or you can message me on Instagram. I have 3 sites there. I got my personal, my clinic site, which is Chiro Power, and then you got ADV period Strength and Speed Strategies, which is on there too. That's more about as far as the book and my certifications. So you can contact me through that way as well too. I'm on LinkedIn, Twitter.
Excellent. So, I see your link tree right here, which I'll put in the show notes too.
Cool.
Yeah,
thank you, sir.
Absolutely. And of course, in person at Allen County Family and Sports Chiropractic.
Yes, sir. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Well, Doc, I can see you're talking to you for another hour easily, but I know you have to get ready for a cert. Buy the book, Kettlebell Strength Training Anatomy. It's on Amazon.
Well, thank you, sir. It's always great seeing you, and I'll see you here in 2 weeks.
Yeah, I lost a week. I'll see you in 2 weeks, Doc. You are the best. I'll see you soon. And for all you out there, I'll put the description for the book, the link for it on Amazon, the link tree we just mentioned, and all the ways to get a hold of Doc Hartle. If you are a fitness professional, a coach, or even curious about kettlebells or barbells, Doc is the best to learn from. So look into him. Until next time, everybody, take care.